Good morning or good afternoon, wherever you may be, or good evening or good night. This is Jen at JensArtyInclinations, a place to create, share and play.
Hello. Here we are, day 3 of DEPHEMEREMBER. I'll get that right one day. Today is, let's have a look. I'll have a little look at the prompt list. And the prompts are bright colours and journaling card. And the surprise animal is penguin. So here's a little bit that I prepared earlier. I grabbed a few things together last night and I've gone through and I've inked everything up and so forth so that, you don't have to belabor through all of that. But this is what I'm thinking of doing. I thought I'd do a giant journaling card and then I thought I'll add a pocket and better add a flip. So, and I have to say, this is so nice to hold in your hand. So that's what I'm going to put together and that's what we'll do together today. So just cutting down my little card, and yes, I'm actually using scissors, the scissors, not the ruler to tear it. And I thought I'd round the corners, and I love this little punch because it holds all the little bits and then I can just tip it out. So then, of course, inking my edges, because those of you who know me know that I love inking up my edges. And then I wanted to show you, this is the backing page. So I'm using bright colours and like florals. That's how I'm doing my bright colours. But see how I've sewn all around this? And on the front, I actually pasted down, well, it's a coffee dyed colouring page. And then over it, I pasted down some napkins, or serviettes as we call them in Australia. And then this is the little tuck that I'm using. So that's a magazine picture that I cut out. And it's whenever you've got people looking away from you, they work really well in collage. And she was a cute little tuck that I did in my little journal. So I scanned a copy and I made it big. And do you remember yesterday I told you about the binding accident where I bound in both signatures upside down so that it doesn't work either way? See what I mean? It's a flippity floppity flippity. But again, it's still fun. So I haven't even started embellishing my pages or anything in this, but I'm just going to use this month for all of my little, throwaway things that you just play with and you want somewhere to tuck it or somewhere to put it. That's what I'm going to do. So anywho, I am simply using that big coffee dyed colouring sheet serviette embedded sewn piece as just a single sheet on the left. All the work's done on that page beforehand, and then I'm doing my big umbrella piece here as my flip. So I'm sticking her down, and as I said, I just scanned in what I did in the book and I printed it out bigger, and then I ran a piece of sewing all around. Just got to grab a sip of coffee. All right, let's start putting all of this together. So just working out which one will I do first. I think I probably need to do the pocket bit first on this. So very simple. That was just a really nice piece of card, and obviously it's bright coloured, so it goes well with this. And I just cut it out and rounded the corners. And then this piece I'm gluing was just a cut down bit of scrapbook paper. So I'm gluing around all 3 sides. I was tossing up as to whether to do the one on the fold because obviously the fold could be the bottom. However, I thought that would give it a little bit more, make it more secure, essentially. And you'll notice that I just did a little hole punch out as some little thumb holes on this as well. So this is the front, gluing it down to the front. And isn't it a gorgeous colour, that card that I've got behind it? It was just a bit of packaging that I went, oh, I'll have that, and cut it down. And the colour was so bright, so it was perfect for this one. Oh, now I want to show you this. This was an accident. So at first, I just folded over a teeny tiny edge, and then I, used my corner punch to round the edges. And then I thought, no, I want it longer. So then I folded down a little bit more, used my corner punch again, and isn't that a pretty edge? I thought, oh, I'm going to do that again. So I don't know, you may not be excited by the small things that excite me, but yeah, I thought I'd show you. So again, happy accidents. It's where I get my best work, is when I'm just not thinking, right? When the brain isn't engaged. All right, so gluing down this edge, and this, I want it to flip out. Now I'm just having a look at where I want it to sit, and I decided that actually I did want it to peek through under the thumb hole that I did on the back. And again, I just did that. So I did it with a circle punch. I'm sure a lot of you have seen that before. You just use a circle punch, but you just punch it halfway instead of the whole circle, and you end up with like a little thumb hole. So I've popped this down in the centre using my tissue because I got globby glue, of course. Again, this is a coffee dyed sheet that I did. This was coffee dyed graph paper is what I used on that one. And check these out. Do you remember how on day one we did mason jars? Well, I didn't even remember that I had these little stamps. So I thought, look, I've got to put the mason jars into this project. It's just, it's a law. Now here I'm doing, is it shadow stamping, Kylie? Kylie at Kylie's Card Craft. I learned so much from her. So stamping off on a page and then onto your sheet. However, it didn't end up as a shadow stamp because I still had a lot of ink left. But I still like it. It was still not quite as strong as what it would have been. And then I'm doing a dragonfly on the other side. So now we've got a little ode to day one as well. And now if I flip it over, we're ready to go back to the front. Now, again, I decided I'd do a little bit more stamping on the front, and I just wanted to do a border. I was thinking of Kylie, and she often does the same. We both love doing this, where we just do a stamped border on some coffee dyed paper as a background. I just use, coffee dyed and tea dyed paper in just about everything. I love it. It's always my go-to. So here, all I'm doing is lightly stamping. I don't need it to be a strong impression. I'm putting it every which way, and I'm using my little postmark collection stamp on this one. So again, just a few stamps that I haven't been using a lot. In fact, I'm not sure I've used them at all yet, much really. So I thought, well, that's why they're still clean, because I don't look after my stamps. So when they're clean, it's not because I've cleaned them, it's just because I haven't been using them. So anyway, isn't that a cute little border? It's such a cute border. I love that look. It's already inked around the edges. It's got the lovely dark side on the front of it. So down she goes. Border ready. Pressing it down, making sure that I'm not getting any glue out of it, and then to give it a really nice seal, because these things can easily peel up, can't they? They can lift quite easily. So I'm doing that. And now we put our little feature animal on the front. Do you know, I've just used the cards whole as they are so far, these little images. So I'm going to have to play around with that a little bit, aren't I? Maybe do something a bit different. But it's just, Lisa, I love what you put together in this. I thought those images that you gave us and the way that you put them together, and with the English and the German on the, what do you call it? The captions and the writing, just beautiful, just gorgeous. Anywho, I decided here that this is just, one of my old stamps that I did as a little frame, and I thought it would be, a bit perfect because it's so imperfect. And the cool thing about this little frame that I carved is it's flexible, so I could split it to make it just a little bit wider to fit the mason jars inside. So I like how the dragonfly overlaps and the mason jars sit inside. I don't know, it just felt right. So then I just did a little bit more stamping around the edges just to finish it off. And look, I tried to avoid the wobble. I mounted my camera arm this morning on completely the wrong surface. I mounted it straight to the desk, so it wobbled with everything that I did, of course. See? So annoying. Anyhow, I've cut out as much as I could for you. And speaking of cutting out, I'm really sorry. I was trying to make it a shorter video, but you just get carried away, don't you? You just keep creating and keep going. My plan is to make these quick little 5-minute ones each day. So hopefully by the end, I'll do that. I know some of you like them longer, But yeah, to edit them and get them out, I need them to be shorter because otherwise I'll never make it through. Anyhow, I wanted to do something on the back. Now, I didn't actually have a lot of success. I thought, oh yeah, I'll just put cheesecloth under it because cheesecloth solves everything. It's like butterflies. As Luise said yesterday, you know, butterfly solves everything. Cheesecloth is another one of those things. However, yeah, I don't like that look. So I thought, look, I'll just leave that and I'll go back to the front. And then, as an afterthought, I thought, oh, it'd be kind of cool just putting that down the edge. So look, I peeled it up a little bit. I had stuck it down really, really well, so it did rip, but I didn't rip the top, so that was fine. It doesn't look like it's ripped. And I just put tons of glue and tucked a little bit of cheesecloth into the corner. So then I went back to the back, front to back to front. I don't know what I'm saying. So I felt like the extra washi sticker of the flower behind it helped it a little bit, but I still wasn't happy. So I ended up pulling up my little birdie, which of course I had glued down as well, so that wasn't all that easy. And I found this little bit of book page from Good Wife, it said on the top. And I thought, oh, maybe that little birdie's a good wife. I'm certainly not. Someone's got to be. So, so I ended up popping him down on that, inking around the edge, and then, see, book page, cheesecloth, butterflies. What other essentials are my little salvations, my little saving hero pieces that I use? Yeah, those are definitely them, right? Birds are pretty close in there as well, but usually butterfly, bookcloth, butterfly, book page, cheesecloth, definitely in there. I love it. We should do a whole series, Liesl, on, you know, what are the things that save the day if you're new to junk journaling. Anyhow, that is what I put in on the back, and I was much happier with that. I thought it sat really cutely. It was really, really sweet. And because it's on the bottom, it wasn't going to catch as I put it into the page. So double bonus. Now, I thought, great, I'm finished. But you know what? I really wasn't. Because when I tried to slide this really cute tuck in, I realised that it was too thin. It wasn't fat enough. So, another book page to the rescue. Book page saves the day. Hey, hey. By the way, I'm trying to remember. Rach, I think it might have been you on one of your journal swaps that you got from someone else that you were looking through. Or Rose, it might have been on yours. I'm not quite sure, but it was on someone's flip through of a journal that they'd received from someone else. And they had this such a clever little tuck, or whatever you call it, like a little journal card piece. But it looks like an envelope peeking over the edge, and then it gives you this lovely big flap that you can pull out. So that was what I did for this. I was so inspired by that, and I'm sorry, I wish I could attribute that because, yeah, it was a direct take. They did that actual flap. Was a direct take on their idea. So if anyone remembers the video and who it was and whose journal it was, please link it in the comments so that I can put it in the description box and let me know. Anyhow, just, you know, zooming around with the glue, popping it down. I've inked the edges, and I love that little piece of the photos. So it's from a beautiful old kids book that I love these style of kid books. And look, it worked so much more beautifully, so much easier. And I'm just tucking the edge in there. I didn't want it to get to the glue, so that was why that took a little bit of time. And there it is in behind our beautiful girl in her brightly coloured rainbows. So bright colours, tick. And what was the other thing? Oh, yeah, and journal card. And I have to tell you, as I said before, holding this journal card in your hand, it's really lovely. It was so much fun to do a giant one because I never work in giant books like this. So, yeah, I don't know. I think I'm going to just keep playing. So there you go. It flips out. And, you know, I could, if this was in a journal, that could literally just take up your whole page. You could just do a teeny bit smaller and it would still work on a normal page. So thanks again, Luise Heinzl and 49 Dragonflies. Make sure you go and check out their channels. They are very creative ladies. And I will hopefully see you tomorrow. I'd love it if you could leave me a comment below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed what you saw today. And of course, please subscribe if you haven't already. I will see you next time. And in the meantime, keep creating. Enjoy!